Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move on with some equations that involve division. Okay, same concept. We'll still start with any adding or subtracting. So now we've got m divided by 2 plus 6 equals 10. So we're still going to get rid of any adding or subtracting first. So minus 6. Minus 6. Now I have m over 2 that's not crossed out equals 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay, so now, right now it's m divided by 2. The opposite is times 2. Cancels out because it's really 2 over 1 times 2. I just found out that m equals 8. If you want to check yourself, substitute it in and see if you get the answer of 10. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 plus 6 does give me 10. So m equals 8 is the correct answer. Okay, so here's our next one. M divided by 5 minus 20 equals 4. So right now it's minus 20. We're going to go ahead and do that adding and subtracting opposite first, so plus 20. Goodbye. Now it's going to be plus 20. So I have m divided by 5 equals 4 plus 20 is 24. Now, here's where I'm going to tell you. Make sure that you're checking for opposites. And I do also want to identify too that you're not always going to get a perfect whole number. I try and do that for you guys as we're practicing them. But as you get into more advanced equations, sometimes you are going to get a mixed number or a decimal. Okay, so right now I'm trying to get you confident in the steps. And my hope is that as you get comfortable with the steps, that you won't ever second guess yourself when you get those decimals and fractions. Okay, so right now I have m divided by 5 equals 24. So we're going to go times 5. Times 5. I just found out that m equals 24 times 5 is 120. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you one, and I want you to try this one independently. Okay, so before I get you started on this one, here's what I want you to understand. This negative that's sitting out in the front has to either go with the z or the 3. I always just go ahead and apply it with the 3. And here's why, because otherwise it's an extra step later if I put it with the z. So instead of looking at it as negative z over 3, I looked at it like this. Z divided by negative 3 plus 5 equals 9. So now go ahead and work your way through this process. Remember that negative has to stick with the 3 when you move it. Okay, so pause your video and work your way through this equation. You should have gotten z equals negative 12. All right, so here's a challenge problem for you because it is involving fractions. So if you'd like to try this one, you may. It shouldn't be too terribly difficult. You just have to be comfortable with fractions. So go ahead and pause your video and work your way through this one and see what you get. Check back in just a minute or so to check your final answer. You should have gotten x equals negative 24. All right, well, that's it for this part of the lesson. There'll be a second part that's working with distributive property for tomorrow. So go ahead, keep plugging away at these and make sure, remember, you're always doing the inverse or the opposite operation. And now that there's more than one step involved, you have to, if possible, work orders of operation backwards. Good luck with this one.